On March 6, 2025, the FBI crashed into Joint Base Lewis McChord, hauling 3 U.S. Army soldiers out in handcuffs. These weren't faceless crooks. They were insiders, caught peddling America's military secrets to China. Classified hard drives spilling details on HIMARS rockets, Stryker tanks, and war plans if China steps up. All swapped for a fistful of dollars. The news hit like a brick. Soldiers trained to defend, turning traitors. Cash over country. It's not a spy novel. It's real, messy, and unfolding fast. I couldn't look away. Neither will you. Let's unravel this betrayal, piece by piece, starting now. Joint Base Lewis McChord, Washington, a powerhouse of U.S. military operations where troops drill, machines roar, and war games play out in preparation for conflicts yet to come. But beneath the surface of routine logistics and supply runs, something far more sinister is unfolding. Sergeant Jian Zhao, a supply specialist with the 17th Field Artillery Brigade, isn't just moving ammunition and equipment. He's moving something far more valuable, intelligence, and he's not alone. His co-conspirators, First Lieutenant Tian, a health services administrator, and Ruoyu Duan, a former soldier now living in Oregon, are in on the game. This isn't some off-the-books side hustle for extra cash. It's espionage. Cold, calculated, and dangerous. Zhao is the perfect insider. A supply sergeant handles everything: logistics, inventory, classified material. He sees what moves, what's restricted, what's worth something. By mid-July, he's reaching out to a contact in Changchun, China, using encrypted apps to keep the conversations hidden. The U.S. court documents call this individual co-conspirator 1. Their discussions aren't casual. There's no small talk. Zhao knows exactly what he's offering. Classified military secrets, straight from American stockpiles to Chinese hands. Hard drives start changing hands, 20 of them, stamped with classifications like secret and top secret. These aren't files on old, outdated weaponry. These contain intelligence on HIMARS rocket systems, the same precision-guided launchers wreaking havoc in Ukraine, and classified U.S. military strategies in the event of a confrontation with China. It's high-stakes, high-value information. Zhao knows what he's sitting on. He prices a HIMARS manual at $3,000, bragging that it's super difficult to get. The deal is set, and by August, the shipments begin. Hard drives are mailed, money flows. By December, Zhao has pocketed at least $15,000. But what he's selling is worth far more. One text message cuts through the noise, a chilling confirmation of what's really happening. Your buyer needs intelligence, right? Yes, they did. And Zhao, Tian, and Duan were all too willing to deliver. First Lieutenant Tian isn't just another soldier. He's not out in the field, sweating through drills or handling supplies. He's got secret-level clearance, a desk job, and access, the kind that turns military intelligence into currency. And he's got a buyer. Enter Ruoyu Duan, a former Army specialist who left the service in 2017, but never really disconnected. While others moved on, Duan was busy building something else, a direct pipeline between American military secrets and China. Tian and Duan strike a deal. Tian provides classified documents, technical manuals for Bradley and Stryker armored vehicles, blueprints that could give any foreign military an edge. Duan handles logistics, wiring payments through Chinese bank accounts, PayPal, and digital breadcrumbs carefully laid to avoid suspicion. The pay isn't astronomical, $500 here, $1,500 there. But over time, it adds up. For more than 3 years, they play the game undetected. By the time federal agents close in December 2024, it's not a new operation. It's an established system. Tian and Duan think they've built a fortress of secrecy, but cracks are forming. October 27, 2024. Sergeant Jian Zhao, the supply guy running his own espionage side hustle, makes a mistake. Surveillance cameras inside Joint Base Lewis McChord capture him in broad daylight, hunched over his desk, snapping photos of PowerPoint slides. Intel on rockets, missiles, and U.S. war plans for the Pacific. Zhao isn't worried about getting caught. He's worried about the price. Later, he sells a classified, military-grade Army laptop one with encryption capabilities, for $1,800. Tian, meanwhile, is getting sloppy too. In May 2024, security cameras catch him pocketing classified secret documents from his office. The arrogance isn't just shocking, it's reckless. Still, they push their luck. Zhao isn't just selling secrets, he's negotiating. A buyer wants 2 classified documents, and Zhao haggles over price. He starts at $4,000 per doc, but the deal lands at $6,500 for both. Not bad for treason. The money trail tells the story. Duan's PayPal logs from March 2023 show $2,500 wired from China. That same day, $500 gets kicked to Tian, a well-oiled machine. Steal, send, cash out. But every machine eventually breaks. This isn't random greed, it's a pipeline. A calculated, deliberate system funneling classified US military intelligence straight into China's hands. Zhao's hard drives and Tian's technical manuals aren't getting scooped up by hobbyists or collectors. These are military-grade secrets, blueprints for war machines, missile systems, and battlefield tactics, priceless to a rival superpower. The DOJ doesn't mince words. Officials say Zhao's stolen data alone has the potential to shift the US-China military balance. Tian's leaks, they lay bare the inner workings of America's armored divisions. And Duan? He's the one greasing the wheels, ensuring the operation runs smoothly. They aren't just selling information, they're handing over pieces of America's playbook, one file at a time. And this isn't an isolated case. There's a pattern, a disturbing one. Just a year before, another soldier from JBLM, Joseph Schmidt, was caught trying to pass secrets to China. Different name, same betrayal. It's clear now, this base isn't just a hub of American military power, it's a hunting ground. Late 2024, the deals are rolling in. Zhao has raked in at least $15,000, and thousands more are quietly moving between Tian and Duan. They think they're untouchable, hidden behind encrypted messages, backdoor transactions, and late-night office runs. The arrogance is staggering, but what they don't know? The feds are already watching. Phone pings, surveillance photos, bank transfers. Every step, every message, every dollar is being tracked. A net is closing, slowly, methodically. The same uniforms they once swore allegiance to are now closing in, and someone's about to knock. The Pentagon doesn't know it yet, but the breach is widening. Zhao isn't just moving files, he's recruiting, turning whispers in barracks hallways into a full-blown operation. The logistics specialist, eager for a payday, hands over shipment schedules detailing when and where critical US hardware moves across the Pacific. It's gold for military planners in Beijing. Every detail, every date, every location makes America's defenses a little more predictable. By mid-September, Zhao ups the stakes. He's pushing for missile defense intel, Patriot battery specs, radar frequencies, countermeasure protocols. He pitches it to his handler like a salesman closing a deal. You need this, right? His price? $4,500 per batch. The buyer is interested, and Zhao, sensing opportunity, promises delivery before the month is out. Meanwhile, Tian and Duan keep their machine running. Google Drive links still hum with stolen manuals. Payments still land in carefully spaced intervals. But the FBI is tightening its grip. Phone metadata, surveillance stills, financial transactions, all forming a picture that Zhao and his crew don't see coming. They think they're still in control. They think they're just a few more sales away from slipping through the cracks. But the net is about to snap shut. Tian knows what he's doing. This isn't just another classified manual. This is battlefield foresight. If conflict erupts over Taiwan, China won't just need to know where the US is sending troops. It'll need to know how America plans to keep them alive. Field hospitals, vaccine caches, medical supply chains. These aren't just logistics, they're vulnerabilities. If an army can't treat its wounded, it can't fight for long. Duan, playing the broker, senses the value. He's not just moving files blindly, he's testing the market, weighing offers, feeding intelligence into the right hands. October 2024 sees him in constant contact with a firm in Beijing, one with deep ties to state-backed industries. The price is steep, $10,000 for Tian's latest package. But the payoff is bigger than money. The leaks are now strategic, pieces of a larger mosaic China is assembling. The FBI is already inside their operation. Digital fingerprints, financial transfers, flagged keywords in surveillance logs. It's all mounting. They don't realize that every file sent, every dollar wired, is another link in the chain pulling them toward a reckoning. Tian, meanwhile, has fully transitioned to Signal, where voice memos replace text. High-value targets, he calls them, satellite communication protocols, encryption methods for battlefield transmissions, the kind of intel that could cripple U.S. coordination in a crisis. Each clip is erased within minutes of being sent, but the FBI is already ahead, quietly logging every move. Then comes the next piece, an expansion. By November, they've looped in someone new, a civilian contractor at Joint Base Lewis McChord, a tech specialist. His job? Drone software maintenance. His price? $5,000 up front. His task? Delivering software patches China could reverse engineer to jam US UAVs. If successful, it's not just information theft, it's battlefield manipulation. And the scale of the leaks is staggering. The Department of Justice later pieces it all together. Over 30 classified transfers, rockets, armored vehicle schematics, medical operations, tech vulnerabilities, a full-spectrum compromise of U.S. military assets. Enough intelligence, analysts warn, to blueprint America's weaknesses in an actual war. But even the slickest operation has cracks, and soon those cracks start to widen. The hammer drops on March 6, 2025. The FBI and Army counterintelligence move in like clockwork, a year of silent pursuit exploding into action. Wiretaps catch Zhao mid-deal, whispering about a Patriot missile file at 2 a.m., finalizing a sale he won't be able to complete. By 5:47 a.m., his barracks door splinters open. Agents flood in, weapons drawn. His laptop is still on, screen flickering with unsent schematics. A USB drive is half ejected from the port, containing encryption keys for military communications. There's no time to react. The game's up. Tian's morning is no smoother. They grab him in his office, the glow of classified hospital deployment schedules still pulsing on his screen. He barely turns before he's slammed onto his desk, cuffs snapping shut. His Signal app, the same one carrying whispers of high-value targets, is still open, revealing 22 voice memos waiting to be erased. In Hillsboro, Oregon, Duan's luck runs dry at 6:12 a.m. A call from Beijing buzzes his burner phone just as the door crashes in. The connection dies as agents swarm his apartment, finding money transfers, hard drives, and a cryptic notebook detailing his cut of each sale. Meanwhile, Joint Base Lewis McChord locks down. The base goes still, the usual morning bustle frozen, gates slammed shut, soldiers confined, rain soaking the pavement as sirens wail. Word spreads fast, this isn't a drill. The evidence piles up at breakneck speed. Zhao's Gmail logs show 14 separate drop coordinates, each a breadcrumb trail to betrayal. Tian's Signal history unearths the full scale of his leaks. The contractor, the one who thought he was invisible, has a micro SD card hidden in a sock, packed with drone jamming software. And just like that, their empire collapses. No more encrypted deals, no more payments, just the cold weight of handcuffs and the realization that they weren't as untouchable as they thought. The fallout is swift and merciless. Just 2 days after the arrest, new charges pile on like dead weight. Zhao, already drowning in espionage charges, now faces wire fraud. March 8th sees the DOJ tracing another $8,000 funneled into a Shanghai account, a final, desperate payout before the walls closed in. Tian's arrogance costs him. During the raid, he tried to wipe his phone, hands shaking as he fumbled with encrypted apps. But the FBI's cyber forensics unit is faster. They recover everything: Signal chats, deleted PayPal logs, and the feds recovered a draft warning Duan. But the exact words aren't public. It's obstruction of justice, plain and simple. Another charge added to the list. Duan, he's cooked. Bank records show $20,000 wired from China in January alone. Money laundering clear as day. The paper trail's undeniable. His accounts, the burner phones, the coded conversations about packages and updates. All of it points to something bigger than a few rogue soldiers chasing quick cash. March 7th, and America wakes up to the storm. Deputy Attorney General Lisa Bondi stands before a podium. This wasn't petty theft, it's a national wound. We're talking about systems that protect American lives, and these men sold them for pocket change. Defense analyst Raj Patel follows up hours later in an urgent CNN segment. He's blunt. We've got terabytes missing. This isn't just leaks. This is battlefield intelligence. If war breaks out in the Pacific, China's already holding the playbook. At Joint Base Lewis McChord, the air is thick with tension. Colonel Mark Schwartz gathers his troops for a closed-door briefing. His words cut deep. Trust shattered. We don't just secure weapons, we secure each other. And some of us failed. Beijing, meanwhile, keeps its lips sealed. No official response, no denials. But behind closed doors, military analysts in D.C. murmur the same thing. China got what it needed. HIMARS missile systems, drone warfare vulnerabilities, medical ops playbooks. It's all compromised. Game-changing intel, as one intelligence officer puts it. And now the world waits. The arrests are only the beginning. The trial looms. The damage still unraveling. The trust may be gone for good. The raid shuts it down, but the web's reach lingers. Those 30 leaks, they're out there. Patriot layouts, hospital plans, drone jammers, the Army's scrambling. March 10th, they audit every hard drive on base. Contractors are suspended, security's overhauled. It's a mess, and it's ours. The soldiers are in cells, but the secrets, they're in China's hands, ticking like a clock we can't see. The fallout spreads like wildfire. Joint Base Lewis McChord, once just another cog in the U.S. military machine, now feels like ground zero for the biggest breach in recent history. The base is on full lockdown. No one in, no one out without scrutiny. Every hard drive, every email server, every access log is dissected for more rot. At the Pentagon, General Michael Garrett doesn't sugarcoat it. Standing in front of senior brass and intelligence officials, his voice is raw. This is a 5-alarm fire. We don't just have leaks, we have a blueprint for how to destroy us. The silence that follows isn't just shock. It's the grim realization that they have to assume the worst. U.S. war plans, weapons vulnerabilities, deployment strategies, compromised. And the response? Immediate. The Pentagon scrambles a $12 million emergency fund just to rewrite drone communication protocols. Why? Because they can't afford to trust their own tech anymore. If China has the software, they might already be working on ways to jam, intercept, or even hijack U.S. drones. But the paranoia doesn't stop at the base. Across the country, the Department of Defense orders a security sweep. Every major military installation now under a microscope. Clearances are revoked, foreign contacts double-checked, soldiers pulled into rooms for questioning. Meanwhile, in Washington, the political storm is just getting started. The Senate Armed Services Committee demands answers. How did this happen? How deep does this go? Senators fire questions at shaken military officials, their voices laced with anger and fear. The hearings are brutal, televised live, the American public watching as defense leaders admit the unthinkable. We got played. And in Beijing, silence, no official response, no gloating, no acknowledgement. But intelligence chatter suggests something chilling. China isn't just sitting on this information. They're moving, shifting military assets, adjusting training protocols, preparing. Because this wasn't just theft. This was war before war, and America just realized it too late. The damage isn't just military, it's political, diplomatic, and personal. In Tokyo, Japan's defense minister isn't the only one making urgent calls. South Korea, Australia, and the UK all demand classified briefings, each one with the same burning question. How much of our shared defense strategy is compromised? Behind closed doors at the Pentagon, analysts work around the clock, piecing together what China could do with this stolen intelligence. The conclusions aren't comforting. HIMARS precision targeting data? It could let China counterstrike before a missile even lands. Drone communication protocols? That's the kind of knowledge that could jam US eyes in the sky in a Taiwan conflict. And the medical logistics leaks? They aren't just about hospitals. They expose how the U.S. prepares for wartime casualties, where it stockpiles emergency supplies, how long it can sustain a fight. And the anger? It's boiling over. In Seattle, protesters crowd outside a military recruitment office, waving flags, chanting, "No mercy for traitors." Conspiracy theories flood online forums. Was this just the tip of a larger network? Was China infiltrating deeper? On the ground at Joint Base Lewis McChord, the tension is thick. The Army suspends 17 more contractors, some suspected of negligence, others of outright involvement. The message is clear. No one is above suspicion now. Colonel Mark Schwartz, the man at the helm when this all unraveled, resigns without fanfare. No farewell speech, no press conference, just a quiet exit. Some say he was forced out. Others whisper that he took the fall for a failure much bigger than him. And out in the Pacific, HIMARS training grinds to a halt. Units cancel live fire drills, scrambling to adjust tactics, rewriting what they thought was secure. Every war game now carries the same unspoken fear. China might already know our next move. The legal hammer comes next. Prosecutors prepare for what will be one of the most high-profile espionage cases in modern history. The paranoia spreads faster than the facts. Briefings turn into interrogations. Who else had access? How deep does this go? 5 new cases of suspected espionage emerge from Fort Bragg to Camp Pendleton, each one eerily similar. Soldiers with debts, quiet transfers of classified data, money trickling in from shadowed accounts. No proof yet that they're connected, but no one's ruling it out. At Joint Base Lewis McChord, a chill settles in. The gates still hum with the usual morning rush, but conversations are clipped, eyes wary. Every soldier who handled classified material in the last 2 years gets pulled into debriefs, some for hours. A rumor spreads, someone high up might have known and looked away. No names, just whispers. And beyond the base, the impact deepens. The Department of Defense greenlights an emergency $200 million cybersecurity overhaul, scrambling to patch the holes before another leak slips through. The Army halts all remote access to classified networks, grounding intelligence officers who once worked from the field. But none of it erases the simple truth. The damage is already done. The money trail tells its own story. Investigators have traced $50,000 so far. Small numbers in the grand scheme, but the true cost is something darker. What's China doing with the stolen intel? Are they reverse engineering weapons, planning countermeasures? Or are they simply sitting on it, knowing the U.S. is now unsure of what they know? Step outside Joint Base Lewis McChord today, and the silence is thick. It's the kind of quiet that comes after a storm but before the reckoning. The leaks are out there, alive, somewhere in Beijing's hands. And back home, a single question lingers like a cold shadow over Washington. What is China building with our bones?